Hello everyone. This video is designed to work as a checkpoint in your writing process. Many of us get tempted to skimp on editing and revision because we spend a great deal of time on writing and either believe that our essay does not need editing and revision or that we don't have time to do it. However, academic writing, and most other types of writing, require editing and revision. There is no secret trick to editing. Editing takes time, and there is no replacement for careful, meticulous work. More importantly, careful editing shows. Your essay should read like a final draft. This means that you should spend a significant part of your writing process editing and revision. This is a corner that cannot be cut. Poorly edited essays distract readers with typos, confusing structure, and other problems. To successfully reach your reader, you must spend time on editing and revision. There are many strategies for editing and lots of things to be sure to look for. Here are a few good places to start. Have a friend or family member look over your essay and give you feedback. Sometimes it helps to get someone who isn't in your class to look over your essay. They can act as an example reader and tell you what confuses them or what they think needs work. It is important, however, that you do not have this person physically edit or revise. Instead, you should discuss your essay with them. All writing, including editing, should be your own. It also helps to read your essay out loud, or to your cat. This may seem weird and might even feel awkward, but it really does help. Sometimes when we read something we've written, we miss errors because we know what we meant to say. Reading your sentences out loud forces you to say what was on the page, not what was in your head. This is a great way to catch smaller issues, such as missing words and sentence fragments. You could also try reading your essay backwards. This is another great way to catch smaller errors. If you read your essay sentence by sentence, but start with the last sentence and work backwards. This way, you aren't thinking about the content, you are thinking about the specific sentence. You should also think about using word processing tools like spell check. These certainly don't catch everything, and sometimes they are wrong, but they can definitely help tell you what you might need to look at. Oftentimes, it can be difficult to edit something you've just written because it's fresh. If you give yourself a break and come back to your essay later, you tend to catch more errors. So give yourself some space and factor in enough time to take a break before you begin editing. You also want to make sure you think about tone. Although your essay includes your opinions on your chosen text, you should still be writing in an academic tone. Remember that academic writing, above all else, needs to be clear. Your tone should be formal, professional, and coherent. You should not write exactly as you speak. Some things to look for include slang that makes your tone too informal, contractions that make your tone too informal, and word choice that makes your tone too informal. You should also avoid using I and other personal pronouns in your essay. Think about every word you choose and every sentence you construct. You also want to think about organization. How you organize your essay is very important. An unorganized essay presents ideas in the order you came up with them. An organized essay presents ideas in the most logical, easy-to-follow manner. You should begin by introducing your essay and providing a clear thesis statement. Think of your thesis as a map for how the rest of your essay will look. Your body paragraph should group like information together and provide clear transitions between ideas. Make sure your points of support clearly relate back to your thesis. Your conclusion should recap what you've presented and expand upon your thesis. Again, careful organization may take some time, but it's worth it. The next tip is to look at each word in your essay and make sure it serves a purpose. Repetitive language doesn't serve a purpose because it is not adding anything new to your essay. For example, if you write, also, the text uses imagery as well is not necessary because it repeats what you've already established with the word also. Also, the text uses imagery, says the same thing in a clear, concise manner. You should also look for meaningless words. Words like nice, good, and very tend to add little meaning to a sentence because they are overused. This takes discipline at first, but making it a habit to ask how each word adds to a sentence can help you edit out unnecessary words and clean up your essay a bit. Another thing to look for taking out is personal qualifiers. Using phrases such as I think, I feel, and I believe is informal and weakens your argument. Instead of saying something like, I believe the text is effective because the argument employs all rhetorical appeals and reaches its intended audience, which makes it sound like you are presenting a personal opinion, you could just say, the text is effective because the argument employs all rhetorical appeals and reaches its intended audience, which is a clear statement that you can support with evidence from your text. Another tip is to look for sentence fragments. Each sentence should be a complete thought. If you remove a sentence from a paragraph and it cannot stand alone, it is not a complete sentence. Oftentimes, students know what a complete sentence is. They might just miss them when they're editing, so make sure you look back through and check that all of your sentences are complete. You should also check your apostrophes. Using an apostrophe denotes possession. Plural words do not use apostrophes. Don't make up comma rules. Comma rules do exist, and they are much more complex than to put a comma where you pause or to put a comma every 4 words. If you don't know comma rules, take some time to learn them. Correct use of commas makes your writing clear and clean. I've provided some comma resources in this folder. Another tip is to avoid trying to make grand statements in your essay. You should focus in on your text and never work in generalizations. Avoid phrases like the world is, in the world we live in, people today, etc. In short, don't make statements you cannot support with your text. Finally, remember that writing is a process. The more you edit and revise, the more you will begin to able to identify your weak points. This allows you to focus in on certain areas of your text. Use the rest of this folder to begin to ask yourself what your weaknesses might be. As always, please let me know if you have any questions.